Alrighty, so next step in the calibration process is getting the blade dialed in for runout. So got a metal plate here. I'm going to go ahead and clamp that down. Then I've got my dial indicator here that I will get set. So what I'm doing here is I've got the indicator set up. I'm going to go ahead and let it lightly touch. Just put it on 0, close to it, and then we're going to flip the magnet to on. So now that is solidly attached. A little bit nicer if it's above. These cutouts. So where it is now, I'm going to go ahead and just 0 it on the needle. So I've got 0 there. And I'm going to rotate my blade. Wow. For a 12-inch blade, this is actually really good. For not having moved anything yet. It looks like the most we're off is about 3.5 thousandths. Maybe 4. That's not too bad. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and make a mark on the blade and on the arbor, whatever you call that piece. And that way I have a reference point for the runout. And I'll grab my wrench wherever it is at. I'll go ahead and loosen the blade slightly. I'm turning this with the arbor there. So I'm going to go ahead now. I want that to stay. I'm going to rotate that a 1/4 turn. Then we'll tighten it up. We'll re-zero the caliper on 0. We'll rotate it again. That's probably about the same, about 3 to 4 thousandths at the worst spot. So now I'll go ahead and loosen it again. And I want to rotate it more like a half. So now my mark is actually opposite 180 degrees. Tighten it up. 0. We'll see where we're at. And that's 5. That's not going to work. So I'm going to find so now I'm about at 90 degrees again. One more quarter turn and we'll be all the way back around. I know it doesn't seem like I'm doing a whole lot here. I've had saws, I think that I remember being off as much as 12 thousandths, and we're working more like with 3 thousandths here. It just happens that this particular blade is a very, very high quality blade, and this saw is in good shape too. So it's not too far off. That's about 3 thousandths. About the best you'll get is 2. So I'm going to leave it right there and call that good enough. Make sure she's nice and tight. It's actually 2.5, maybe 3. So that's pretty good. If you're still not getting good results, it's possible that one of your parts around the arbor of the saw could be bent or damaged, and those parts are replaceable. That can happen whenever you grab an offcut and it really flies into the fence or something like that. That's something to keep in mind too. So as you can see then, that actually isn't too difficult of an operation to perform to get the runout dialed out on this. What you'll find is if you're starting the saw and you pull it and it really kicks, a lot of times that's from the blade wobble, and if as you go into a cut it's wandering a little bit and it's not just going straight in, that can be from your runout, and then once it stabilizes inside the wood, then it'll straighten out again. So on a 12-inch blade like this, it doesn't hurt to do that runout check. I think I've had it up to like 10 or 12 of those tick marks before just being off, just throwing a blade on it. So it can be pretty significant on a 12-inch blade, and it's worth dialing it in. The other thing is with using a really good blade, I don't take the blade off very often at all, and you can clean the blades on the saw. So once you've got it dialed in and it's on there, I try and leave it on there. That way I'm not screwing around with it a bunch and then having to redo it. So it can go a long time without actually having to recalibrate it. Hope this video helps you guys out. Regardless of whatever saw you've got, take the time to calibrate it, dial it in for runout, and spend the money on a good blade. It'll really up your work, and there's nothing like cutting with a saw that's really dialed in.